Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Human Challenge, where we explore all the human challenges in today's world, the challenges of being human, and how we can challenge ourselves to be more human for the greater good. I'm your host, Vanessa, and today we are talking to Kristyn, chocolate scientist, only one of the reasons I wanted to come on the show today, an avid marathoner, and also co-founder of 7 Summit Snacks, Purposeful Chocolate to fuel your next adventure. Kristyn, welcome to the show. Super happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I'm excited to chat with you today.
I know 7 Summit Snacks. I had the opportunity to try your products. Yum, yum, yum. Loved them so much. And I loved everything. The taste, amazing. And also loved the visible, what would you call it? Like the actual, the product appearance of the chocolate, the peaks, which I'm sure you're going to tell us about. But I'm so happy you're here. Big news for 7 Summit Snacks for your birthday. For your birthday for 7 Summit Snacks, and you've got amazing things happening. So please tell us what is happening with your company right now after 4 years of business. What is happening now?
It's kind of one of these things that I tend to downplay and then realize it's kind of a big deal. And like our birthday was that. And so it was our first 4-year birthday on the 21st of February. And I was like, I'll send a post out about this. And it has one of the highest engagements that we've had in a long time with it because people are proud of us. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just another birthday. I'm like excited about my own birthday, but it's like company birthday, whatever. But so yeah, I think it's a testament. We started the company just before COVID started. We've grown every year more than 20%, which has been really awesome. And we're almost a nationwide business now. I've been doing that as a chocolate scientist, as an athlete, and someone with very little sales and marketing background. So it's like, I feel like, you know what, it's time to give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back for the grind that we've been in. But it was a reason to celebrate, which was great. And yeah, as of it being 4 years, we've had the same kind of three flavors in the market since our start, and our customers keep poking us, when's something new coming, and so we made it this year. And right now we're running a crowdfunding campaign that is fundraising for our 2 new flavors and 2 formats. So that's going to be a whacking 4 products launched this spring, and we're doing it through Indiegogo.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for doing what you do because, like I said, the products are amazing. The chocolate is so good. And everything about it, I feel the whole experience of eating, let's be real, okay? Eating chocolate, it's an experience.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm not even trying to be dramatic.
No.
It is an experience. And, the packaging is nice. I think I got one. I think you have a trial box, correct? I think
right.
that was the one that
I
received.
Yeah, one of everything. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and yes, one of everything, and in 2 formats, right? You got the big bar, and then I think it was a mini one, if I remember correctly, right?
Our endurance bar, which is our energy bar.
Yeah, like the whole like the packaging is nice. The packaging of the actual chocolates are also really nice. And then can you tell us a bit more? I love this, the design of the chocolate itself, the peaks, like they're literally shaped as triangles. Do you have one by chance on you?
Oh,
Can you show us?
I'm the worst at that, and I don't have one on. I've spent a long time. We said I was a chocolate scientist. I spent over a decade in research and development at some of the biggest chocolate companies in the world, making new products. With that came with a lot of global understanding of consumers. And going into starting a new chocolate business, the market's crowded. Starting a new energy bar business, the market is crowded. So we knew from the get-go we needed to show up, and we needed to show up professional. We weren't going to do this farmer's market mom and pop thing. It had to be look legit from the get-go. So we spent money in packaging. We spent money in finding the right design that really complemented the brand. And kind of a funny story, when I used to work at Mondelez, which was in charge of Cadbury and Milka and Green and Blacks, the industrial designers there who designed the chocolate bars for the specific brands, they would love it when they got a design challenge for a new bar, because they're like, we're tired of making Lego blocks, because you go into the market and everything looks like Lego blocks of chocolate. So going in, I really wanted to make sure we had a bar that represented our brand, that had peaks and angles to it. And we found that, and we're selling that today.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love it so much. And for myself, yeah, when I opened the package and like it was my first reaction, I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're triangles!" Like it's honestly like I want to say it's
Mhm.
cute, but I don't know if cute is maybe not the right word, but
Oh,
it
good.
actually is. Like
Yeah.
it was I loved it, like the whole experience of it, and you could just tell. I think that
Mhm.
when you engage with a brand who puts that much thought and care into what they're creating, that's huge. It's really huge
Mhm.
as a consumer. It really makes such a big deal. And so I absolutely love it. Many congratulations on your crowdfunding campaign. I think it's been quite successful. You were telling me. Please
Yeah,
share.
we hit 50% before the halfway date. We set ourselves a goal of 31 days of crowdfunding. So we're halfway there. So now it's the final push for the last 2 weeks. And yeah, really just trying to go outside of our immediate network right now and have our friends tell their friends that they should get on board with our new flavors. We really recognize the power of community with our brand and the impact that that has. And a lot of our most loyal customers are because they got recommended by their friend, kind of thing. So that word of mouth has been really impactful for us. And so we're hoping to keep spreading that in that last 2 weeks of our funding.
That's amazing. And that is really truthfully huge success. As myself, I've been in the investment space for a decade. And so, when yeah, to accomplish 50% of a raise and 50% of your allotted time, I mean, that's huge. And especially like a month, like 31 days is not a lot of time, right? So
No.
that's actually incredible. So like fantastic. Many congratulations on that. I mean, I'm super proud, and I'm honored to be now considered a friend of Seven Summit Snacks because now I get
You
to go and
absolutely are. Yeah.
refer. So I'm like, I'm so honored. Everyone, that link will be in the description. So please contribute. It's honestly an amazing, amazing company, amazing product. And I think I do also appreciate the niche that you kind of found, right? This
Mhm.
intersection between the adventure athlete energy bar versus chocolate bar, right? You kind of
Yeah.
found that nice little fit in there. So I think that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, there's truly not another product on the market like it. Of course, there's chocolate that people take out and about with them. The packaging isn't fit for purpose, so it falls apart. And then people who do use Snickers, Mars bars, I am guilty of doing that prior to our own brand, have a race day Snickers bar. Again, there's like 20% of chocolate on that bar, and the rest of it's a lot of really highly processed sugar. So we're really providing high quality ingredients that are good for energizing in a purposeful package, and giving it to people who like to go out and about, who like high quality products and want to feel good about their body and also the brands they're supporting.
Absolutely. Maybe you can tell us a bit more as a chocolate scientist,
Mhm.
what you were just talking about now around the chocolate, like the sourcing of it, and
Yeah.
and then how you're bringing in these other products that are actually healthy for the body. Maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, not all chocolate is created equally. It grows on a tree, so we're like, yay, it's natural. But they're really the industry itself is quite fraught with poverty and problems that way. So one of the biggest things I needed to ensure when we were starting our company is, one, we're buying ethically sourced chocolate. So ensuring that there's social programs going back to the farming communities that helps them with infrastructure, learning, and fair wages. So we only buy chocolate that goes into those kinds of programs. The second thing that's important is about the ingredients that you're mixing chocolate with. So we're using most of our recipes use a 65% dark chocolate, which is a nice sweet spot in between having the right amount of or a lower profile in sweetness, but a nice roasted cocoa flavor to it. 70, 80%, 85% dark chocolate can often have the same amount of cocoa beans in it as a 65% dark. But what happens is they're adding extra cocoa butter to get it up to that 70, 80, 85% mark. So the intensity or amount of like powerful ingredient, which is the cocoa bean itself, could be exactly the same in a 65, 70, 80. So we're making sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck with the flavonols and with the inherently good ingredients that are coming from the cocoa beans. Then we're mixing it with natural berries. So we use goji berries, we're using golden berries. So other superfoods that have antioxidants and energizing properties to them. So there's no artificial flavors in there, no preservatives. And yeah, really just using those natural ingredients to enhance the flavor of the chocolate that we've sourced.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that I did not know all that about chocolate, and so I'm assuming flavonoids. That's the healthy part of the chocolate.
Yeah, those are like the compounds that can give they help take away like nasties in your blood, for instance, or free radicals or damage that you get from inflammation. So cocoa itself is a superfood. So we're using high quality cocoa. And then again, using those antioxidants, or the berries, superfoods have the antioxidants in them as well. So things that are colorful are good for you. And we all need more color in our life for sure. And so we throw those colorful berries in there to help with that.
And I imagine, I know this bar is really for anybody, but I know in
Mhm.
particular, because you live an active lifestyle, you kind of created this in mind, in particular for athletes. And so I would imagine that those ingredients are also supportive for athletes. And like you said, like if you're actually running a marathon,
Yeah.
is that how does that fit together?
Exactly. So, like, part of the conception for the product was my sister Leanna, who's been on the show. She's a triathlete at the time. I was running marathons. And normally, when you're doing these kinds of events, you're having these things called carbohydrate gels, which are basically packs of syrup. And so she was like, can we eat chocolate instead? And I had thought about it, never thought about it critically. You think of chocolate as a treat. And so I was like, actually, chocolate has a really good ingredient profile for endurance sport because it's a mix of carbohydrates and fat. And so that's where it's the benefit comes from eating it from, like, in sports, or especially in like endurance sport. So the benefit that you're getting is it's cocoa and sugar still, which your body needs for endurance sport, but you're getting a slower release of it over time. So it's like you have a sugar molecule, it's all wrapped in cocoa and cocoa fat, and then that fat dissolves while you're digesting it, and then the sugar is released over time, and that's giving you the energy you need. And then you can start to use that fat and digest it a little bit as energy as well. So it's really giving you a sustained energy. Chocolate in general gives you a sustained energy. And again, because we're using higher quality cocoa and chocolate, it's a little bit lower in sugar. And so we're adding honey in there for an extra source of carbohydrates. So it's giving you that kind of like really nice and steady, balanced energy. And I'm marathon training at the moment. I've got a marathon in 2 weeks, and I'll be fueling on chocolate. I'll probably have 4 bars in the time that it'll take me to run it, but I've been practicing with that, and I've felt really sustained the entire time.
Right. Thank you so much for that. I think that that is so interesting, and I do appreciate this focus on the sustained release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I did not know that about chocolate, that it had that capability in conjunction with the cocoa butter, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
the fat. I guess that's like the
Absolutely. Yep.
fatty. Okay, got
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that, so I'm really grateful to know that right now. I think that's really interesting, and I'm sure that other athletes, I think that would resonate with a lot of athletes as well. And I think even just everyday people, I'm not training for marathons.
Yeah.
No, thank you. That was a phase in my life. You know what? Like, yeah, that was a phase. I was like all for
Yeah.
it, but I'm, hung up the jersey, good to go on that one.
Did
But I
there, got
do,
the t-shirt. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I definitely see the benefit to anybody because, yeah, other things you get that spike, and in this case, you don't get that spike,
Exactly.
right? You just
And
get that
so
nice sustained
mhm.
profile.
So someone who's looking for like that afternoon bridge, that's another time where people eat a lot of chocolate or candy bars, is they're like, they want something sweet in the afternoon to kind of get them through that 3 o'clock period before dinner and after lunch. And this is where high quality chocolate, again, Seven Summit
Mhm.
Snacks, comes into play, because you're getting that. Our bars are not overly sweet, so you're not but they're satisfying because they're rich in flavor, and again, because it is a balanced mix of that fat and sugar together, you're getting that just energy over time. And then the other inherent benefit of cocoa, so better in dark chocolate as well, is it's got a natural source of caffeine. So we're not adding caffeine to our bars, but you're getting a little bit buzzed on it or you're not getting buzzed, but you're feeling a little bit a little bit of a lift because of the natural caffeine within the chocolate itself as well. So it makes sense for that great afternoon snack, get you through the rest of your work day, or if you've got a late night or something, have a little bit of chocolate, again, just kind of get you through another hour or two of having that mental focus to get you through your day.
Wow. That's also very interesting. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. And yeah, and I'm one of those people. I'm that 3 o'clock person that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I need a pick me up right now.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that resonating with me and people like me who,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's fantastic. I want to touch on, because you mentioned Leanna. So yes, Leanna was
Mm-hmm.
on the show a while ago with Tim, and Leanna can't be here today. She's in Colombia in the nice warm weather, and Kristyn, you're in Edmonton, right? You're in
I'm in
Edmonton?
Edmonton. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in Sault Ste. Marie, very cold where we both are.
Mm-hmm.
So, no one's upset with Leanna for being in the warm weather. There is no bitterness here. But so she's doing amazing things right now. But I wanted to chat with you. Tell us about starting a business with your business. What's that like?
Yeah, I've been starting
Sorry,
a business
starting a
with your
business with your
sister.
sister.
Yeah.
What's that like?
So what they say, don't start a business with your family members and nor your partner. And that is how Seven Summits is structured. So no, it was really Leanna's idea. And I brought it into fruition. And she, when I was working in industry before, she was kind of like my muse or my guiding light with things. And she remains that beacon of light for us as a brand. And so she is the consumer. She is the person who's looking for that healthy chocolate, that adventurous kind of taste exploration. She's the one that's reading the label, looking for intuitive marketing. And so for her, it's like this brand is for her. We use her as a guiding light. It's, of course, it's always tough to find your feet with whose role's doing what role, like who's doing what in the roles department, and how that's split up. But over the last 4 years, we're finding a flow. We understand each other's expectations and what each person brings to the table, and so we respect that and work through that as partners in a business.
And I know too, I know you also started your own family at the same time. So tell us, like, that's a lot that I can't,
Yeah,
starting a
this
business with
this
your
last
sister, now have, starting your own family.
Yeah,
There.
it's been a crazy wild ride the last year. I had my son in May, and so he's growing. So of course our growth year wasn't quite as much as we had been in the previous years. He's like my second child because Seven Summits is my first. But no, he's been wonderful. So it's been hard to find balance because again, as an entrepreneur, you want to put everything you don't work, you don't succeed. So you have to put the time in and find the time to do that, but then also find the balance of spending time with your new child. And my partner is amazing in that he's really taken on the dad duties to allow me to plow forward with the business and the strategic decisions. And then he's been picking up a lot of the slack on. He calls himself a gopher in the little tasks that he can get done around the business while he's caring for Isaac, our son, in the meantime. But then that means that dinner time is like, okay, let's do strategic marketing and strategic decision making. Rather than like, how was your day? It's like, okay, what are we doing about this? Let's problem solve. So yeah, just our conversations might be a little different to a conventional family potentially, but we somehow make it work, and we've had a great start to this year with some big accounts coming on and picking us up as a brand, as a testament to our perseverance over the last 3 years.
That's amazing. And I really welcome this conversation around not just entrepreneurship, but being a woman in the space, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
women, we have to have children. Not we have to have children, but like we
Yeah.
make that choice, we have
Mm-hmm.
children, but then we still, we're still running a business. And I, for myself, being in the impact investment space, we
Mm-hmm.
see these challenges very often. Not the challenge of having a children and necessarily
Yeah.
running a business, the challenge of how that actually impacts business growth, strategy growth. Like you said, right? Your growth,
Mm-hmm.
like it had to slow down. And that's, no, like, I mean, it is what it is, but like, it's unfortunate that that's the reality, because it's
Yeah.
also like 10 times harder as a female, or a woman-led entrepreneur of a woman-led venture to raise capital. We all know those stats, like
Yeah.
2% of VC funding goes to women. I mean, that's very sad that that's just like a normal statistic.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm very grateful for these types of conversations, because they are real. These
And
are
that's
real conversations, real struggles.
and it hit home for me in the last 2 weeks. I was part of a pitch competition where I was one of, I don't think, maybe two other female entrepreneurs out of 20. And one of our charts, because you have to talk about your growth, you have to talk about your traction. So it's 20%, 20%, 5%. And you're like, well, what happened? Like, well, I had a baby. Oh,
Right.
okay. And like that's not coming on the slides of the other
Right.
18 founders in the conversation. So I think, again, it's like the fact you have to explain yourself is not always there for other groups of startups and companies.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that even to be in that scenario, and then, an investor, like you said, investor kind of sees like, oh, now
Mhm.
suddenly what, like your pregnancy, your gift to give human life to the planet is now a risk, like is like a perceived risk
Yeah.
to an investor,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole,
Mhm.
the whole logic of it just really frustrates me. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, like I said, like I'm always really grateful to hold space for these conversations, because,
Hmm.
they are real, and there has to be better ways, and we need to be more open-minded as investors, in terms of how we're working with other members of our community. And then, like I said, like that should not be considered our business risk. That is life.
Yeah.
And, you're dealing with early stage ventures. Like you have to consider that in your portfolio, in your investment thesis in a very different way, right? Or else you're
Absolutely.
missing out on opportunities. And so, yeah, I'm really grateful for that
Mhm.
perspective.
And so I think I'm finding support through other women-led organizations that are there for support for and empowerment of women and women entrepreneurs. So, yeah, through companies or organizations like Coralus or through Movement 51, who they help to support women entrepreneurs finding investment, getting ready for investment, and so we're part of looking to be part of those kinds of growth circles and support networks. So you can relate and have investors such as yourself and investment companies kind of give the feedback to say, hey, this is how you can present your message in a compelling way, because you don't want to scare off those VCs or potential investors. You can just tweak your messaging. And so we look for those training, or I look for those training opportunities that are out there.
Right. I appreciate that, and I think it's really great. I'm in the Canadian investment
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem, and then also a little bit in the U.S. And so I think it's really great that there are those resources being pushed out. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
the same for diverse founders.
Yeah.
I think it's really great to know that there are people that are trying to have these conversations, trying to offer resources and make these conversations a bit more, creating action from these conversations. Last thing, I want to kind of circle back to the crowdfunding campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I think that also came from just, I think it was part of being, I think you utilized that tool over like traditional investing. Was it for the same
Mm-hmm.
reason, because of these challenges you were facing as a woman entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So I think part of it is, yeah, we recognize the power of our community and how they are on board for supporting us as a brand. And so we validated our product idea in 2020 with a crowdfunding campaign and started our business that way. It felt natural for us to kind of get back into that space as a way with these two new products, or four new products, two new flavors, to kind of go full circle with that again and give it a shot. Because our community does want to support us, and again, the power of that referral is important. The word of mouth has proven to be a powerful tool for us, and so by having our core community support us, we are able to fund the launch right away. And part of the reason why I've waited so long to launch these products is funding. It's like we have to, in the packaged goods industry, you have to buy all your materials up front, your cash flow, you need to start to accrue it. And it's always a battle. It's like, well, do I spend my extra dollars on marketing, or do I spend them on product development? And so we've been spending them on marketing for the last few years, and our consumers are hungry for something new, and we're making that happen, and we're guaranteeing that to happen by doing this crowdfunding campaign, and they'll get exclusive access to the products before it'll be available to stores.
Great. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm going to provide the link for the campaign in the description. So please check that out and be welcome to, is it not really donate? Is it don't? It's not donate because you're basically
you're getting
right?
chocolate for it. Yeah. It's just, we're effectively taking pre-orders is what it is. And all the shipping's built in already. So we've got some bundles that are flat fees for people to try out. If you want combos of both flavors, both formats, or if you're just like gung-ho on like, I like dark mint chocolate and give it all to me, then you can do it that way as well. And then if you are feeling generous, you can give us, there's a spot for extra money there. And your contributions will give you store discounts for taking part in that option as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Maybe real quick, after this crowdfunding campaign, what's next for Seven Summit Snacks? So you got these new flavors you're releasing. What's next?
Yeah, so we're really trying to have a big growth year this year. I have a personal goal of being in at least 10 stores in the US by the end of the year. We're literally about to go to Japan in the next week. We've been working with the government of Alberta and Agriculture Alberta to find export partners for our products there. So we're doing a trade show there in addition to running the Tokyo Marathon. And then, so export, developing our market out east and developing our market into the United States. And with that, I'm trying to, so again, funding is a huge part of the problem when you're trying to grow. And so I'll be leveraging some of those women-owned or women-led organizations to help get us investor ready to do a friends and family round in probably about a year's time.
Amazing. Very happy for you. Very grateful for the work you do. Very excited for all of this on top of a marathon. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Just had a baby 9 months ago and I'm going to run a marathon.
Yeah. I know. Honestly, that's amazing. And I'm super happy and I'm really grateful that, we get to share this conversation because, like this is, I think, the power of women, right? That we're able to do these things, that we can build ventures, we can have children, go run a marathon like 9 months later. Like that's, and it's just, I'm super grateful that we get to like really showcase this. So thank you so much. Once again, everyone, be welcome to buy your pre-order at the crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo at the link. And we will definitely be following Seven Summit Snacks to see what happens next.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Vanessa. It was lovely to chat